Good afternoon, YouTube. Depending where you're at, this is your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this is a little special roundtable discussion. I mean, I've done this before. It's been a while since I've done it, but I was really inspired to do this again by a certain gentleman. You know, you recognize him. You might know him formerly of the Art of Female Muscle, aka my man Jeremy. He did it a while back. I said, you know what? I know sometimes it's hard for some people to come on my Must Talk Mondays because the fact is, Monday, the middle of the first of the week, people are still working, yada yada. So I said, you know what, let me do this like this little thing. We do it about every once a month, and we get people's thoughts and we critique. So we're gonna have some people already here. So you want to join on? The link is in the description of this live stream. You could not the description, but it's in the comment section. Use tag like I do with my Must Talk Monday. So you want to join us? Come on. So we have here the man who really inspired me to start this again. My man Jeremy, aka formerly the Art of Female Muscle.
How's it going, George?
Yeah, and also we have here one lady she was interested about doing this, and we had her as a guest before, both her and her husband. She's really cool lady, the lovely Mrs. Beverly Coleman.
Hello.
Yes, yes. I'd like to welcome you, to this a little event. So we have one more person supposed to be coming, but we have to wait on them because the technology thing can be so bugging. But when she comes in, we'll get on. So, folks, we just finished up the qualification for this year's Olympia. And we have always started two shows for next year's Olympia. And shout out to the competitors. I just recently interviewed Sergeant Yvonne Pennington, who got her qualification at the Legion Sports Fest. Congratulations to her. That's this is like second time for me. I interviewed somebody right before they got their Olympic qualification. I did it with Tracy Giles, and also Elaine Alvarez Romero, who just got her qualification in women's physique at the Legion the Daytona Pro. Congratulations to her. And also my big brother. He made his return after taking some time off. My big brother, Mr. Big Keith Williams. Shout out to him. He competed at the Legion Sports Festival. He didn't place as good, but he brought a great package. He sent me his picture. I don't know why he keeps doing this to me. He says this. He sent me. But no, what about girls? Nah, he's my brother. I love him. He always hang out with the girls. I mean, so I said, George, you should be here. Well, you know my situation, brother. I'm broke. So I can't always complain. Shout out to him. Thank you for sending me this, and shout out to Maria Lieberman. She's a great lady. I hope to have her back on here. We see soon. So, folks, as you know, the season is ending. For year's about to go out. We only got maybe a few more months left for 2020. I don't 2024. I mean, dang, time's going fast. So, what y'all feelings, y'all thoughts as the year is winding down?
I think this is going to be an epic Olympia. Women's bodybuilding is going to have they're bringing in some heavy hitters. I think it's going to be a really good Olympia. Women's physique. I think really all the categories, but especially women's bodybuilder. You got some couple of new people. You had Hunter Henderson. She qualified. I think she's going to go far, and I'm excited, especially for women's bodybuilding, because you got more the younger women that are starting to get back into it, and it's growing. The shows are getting bigger for women's bodybuilders, so I'm really excited to see that.
Mm-hmm. And me and Jeremy talked before. What's your thoughts too, brother?
Oh, excuse me.
All right.
I agree. I think it's going to be a very interesting show, especially with between Andrea and Angela, because Angela topped Andrea at the Rising Phoenix. So now the big question is going to be, can Angela keep that conditioning that won her over Andrea, or is Andrea, because Andrea, you said, is going to be coming back shredded. So if Andrea comes in shredded, I don't see how she could be beat, but that's what's going to be make this an interesting competition, especially for me. Is just between Angela and Andrea, and see how well that they do with each other. Doesn't mean that nobody else can win it, obviously, or nobody else is going to be placing high. It's just going to be interesting to see how those two compete against each other, especially.
Yeah, because that was the surprise of the Rising Phoenix. Angela looked pretty good. On Andrea, she wasn't as crisp like she usually is. Because I know people tell me when she's on, and I think there was a mistake where she kind of just underestimated her opponent. I mean, but the thing is, that it's always if this is for Angela, is it peaking too soon? Because the Rise of Phoenix, yes, is a top show, but everybody knows the big show is really the Olympia. And if Andrea can come in better condition than she was before, um, crisper, more drier, I mean, she could retain her title. And Hunter, she's coming back after taking a few years off and coming in, and she's not even. I don't think she's 30 yet.
No,
And
I know.
yeah,
Yeah, and she's really I say she's kind of one of the new kids on the block. Not to use that terminology lightly, but she looks really good. I think with time, she's gonna be a force to be reckoned with too. She had the powerlifting background, which is always good. It's kind of a good base too. But she looks really good. Ashley, she looks phenomenal. She looks
Right.
really good. Ashley looks great. So I'm excited, to see what's going to happen in the near future with women's bodybuilding because there's some girls they're coming in. I mean, they look fantastic. And so, like I said, with Hunter, give her a couple of years. Ashley looks good. She made top three. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens at the Olympia.
yeah, I can't see. I might watch it. I know just like I'm just gonna probably watch the women's division because I don't pay too much about the banana hammocks. I did watch my man Big Keith the other day because I wanted to support him. They came on a little later because by the time it was time for the men's division to come on at the Legion, I fell asleep. I'm not no spring chicken anymore. I just knocked out. I did get to watch him in the prejudging. He looked really good. Shouts to him. And yeah, it is like we talked about before, Jeremy, how it is going to be have these new up and comers that really, you know, push the next level for women's bodybuilding. I mean, physique is going to be busy because I know they already have two qualifications this year for next year. Yvonne Pennington, who got the president talking to, she's already qualified. Um, also, Alina Alvarez, she did a couple of shows. She did both Tampa and she did Tupelo, where she didn't get a qualification in that. So, that was probably a smart thing to wait and maybe do these shows for next year. And it's just, I still kind of disappointed. I just saw my man, Glenn, he just interviewed with Big Jane Akapichi, who just competed at the Titans, was it a week ago? And that was a good lineup. I think Tina said, that's we already know that's Keith's wife. She said that next year they're going to have them back for that show, and I think
Great.
yeah, because what it does, it works because a lot of people be ready that year. I think a lot of people didn't. For once, I thought the qualification was going to be for next year's, but then I heard that by a certain person, I'm going to say his name, Yo Jake, Big Jake. He was the one who decided to, say, okay, let's make this for this year's qualification, because we had a couple ladies that one Nadia Capasoto who did the Europa show about just a couple weeks before. She got a She's already qualified, but now she's took a spot to come and wait for somebody else. And then you have Ansia Levanova, who won at the Portugal Pro, but for she's because she doesn't have a visa, and that's the thing is knowing you are going to compete at an Olympia level show, knowing that the Olympia is here in the States, you should have a visa. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, because on the list originally for the Legion show was a competitor, uh, Carolina uh, Alvarez, or she was from Brazil. She won the Portugal, and she was going to be on the list for the Legion show. But then she was off the list because she doesn't have a visa. And I know last year there was like issues with visas. I mean, one girl she wanted to show couldn't come because visa. You know, as anybody know, you compete in this show. This is a world sport, but the Olympians here in the states. Is she smart to go ahead and have that shit together, knowing you're going to be,
Yeah. Huh. That's kind of surprising too.
mhm. Yeah, because you think about it, if that's a spot that's could have went to somebody else. Like I know Sherry, um, pre-army, she's done the show before, and if Sherry had won at Portugal, then she wouldn't have done Chicago. And that means that Hunter probably would have won Chicago, and then the lady who was running up to Hunter could have got a qualification at the this year's Olympia, but it doesn't. To me, I don't know. I'm just me being a fan.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that. Yeah, but that only makes sense because you would think though, knowing you have to come to the United States before you even start doing anything, make sure you have that lined up. Your visa. It's kind of surprising.
Mhm. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. You
Yeah.
know, because most of the shows are here in the states.
Yeah.
Not as many shows in Europe, except for if you like maybe bikini or I just had the same week about the same week they had another show that was in Poland, but it was just mostly the other divisions and I think figure. I like I said, I do try to keep it with figure as often as I can, but it's it's too deep of a division. There's so many people to keep up with. Just saw this one lady, a known, if you heard of her, she did a second show, and this is her seventh show in the year. She did 7 shows this year, 5 in figure and 2 in physique. And I don't know how she does it. I know the cost. So she went to Great Britain, did a show. She did 3 shows in Florida. She was in Arizona.
Wow.
I mean, she did 2 shows in Canada. I mean, I'm saying she lives in Canada. Vancouver's kind of hard to get to. I heard, but that is that's a expense. I mean, that's why I say sponsorship does help.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much. I guess I'm not completely surprised with the whole situation with Anastasia, just with our political situation with Russia. I'm
Well,
not I'm not really surprised with that.
here goes
So,
thing. It's not political position because Natalia Bastrova is Russian, and she came here and did 2 shows. You know,
hmm.
um, it's to me. I don't know if it's maybe something in her records because if you want to um, get into the states, you have to have um, all your P's and Q's because you can't have anything on your record. So I don't know. It could be the issue with her husband like to talk. He like to talk shit, talk about how his wife's gonna come here and yeah yeah. But the thing is, if your wife wants to come here and take out something like Andrea, she has to have a visa. And I know
Yeah.
Female Bible Channel brought it up quite a few times, and it's just I don't know what's the issue. You can't say so much about political stuff because unless the Taz lives someplace else, that could be it.
Well, it could
But
Oh.
be it could be like the coach, like you said, because in the past he's flat out called Wings of Strength wings of shit,
Oh
and
wow.
he's decided to say that online, and he's really gone after Jake Wood in kind of a
oh
big way. So that could have something to do with it as well. So
So is her coach her husband? Is that what you were saying? No.
yeah,
yeah,
that's
well,
yeah,
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 Her coach is her husband.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
He's
yeah.
he's he's got his own company called what is it, Iron Queens, where he's a
Hmm.
competition coach.
Okay.
So yeah, but he's made really disparaging remarks in the past. So that could have something to do with it as well.
See, and that to me, that's a whole nother topic. When you're in a relationship or married to someone that can cause you damage. Um, it's almost like I hate to use the words sabotage, but it's kind of a sabotaging.
Oh yeah, it's very much that. If you're going to decide to do something that harms your partner in that way, I mean, But again, I'm just grasping at straws at that.
Well,
But I
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
be
for
surprised.
sure.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised though if that would have something to do with it. So
yeah, that and oh my God, yeah, that is another. That's a whole nother topic because I've known people who their significant other. They said they encouraged them to compete, but if they did better than them or they felt like they were going to get further, they kind of they were there to support them, but they did things to kind of sabotage them too. And I think when you're in a relationship, especially like a marriage or a intimate partner, that right there, you even if you have opinions, you need to keep that to yourself. I think to be, yeah, you may not like the way some things are done, but it is what it is, and you got to think about your partner first before you start saying a bunch of things out there that can cause damage.
Yeah, because you know what, you got to think about it. At one point, she was a Weeks Rave ambassador, and they liked her. But the thing is, I understand you want to, really hype your wife up. Really give her a lot
Yeah,
of, But the thing is, you have to be careful. Choose your words wisely. This is,
exactly.
even though this is not a big major sport, it's still, a sport with a very deep community. You have people like the Manions, you have people like, Jake, and anytime I got to do is for anytime I say his name, yo, Jake, I want that money, I want that
Yeah,
gun. I mean, you have, you know, and it's common sense knowing that your wife competes in this sport, and you also train competitors. You should be wary of what you do, what you say.
yeah.
Some people take things to the offense. Some people might just laugh off, say he's just yeah, talking, But then when you make comments calling when you strength shits of strength, then that's not
Well,
good.
it's unprofessional at that point because yeah, you may have an opinion and you may not like the way something's done, but you still, at the end of the day, uh, pros it stands for professional. So you got to be professional. Even especially being a coach and you're training your wife, you even more so need to be professional. That's with anything. You just watch your words. Watch what you say. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be entitled to your opinion, but what I am saying is you have to be real careful how you say things.
Yeah, we got here from a man, Stefan Prey. Shout out to Stefan. He says, "Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, brother." Yeah, and there's sometimes rivalry is good. Sometimes it gets a lot of attention, like the classic Flex Wheeler and Ronnie Coleman, or
Ty
or
Green and Phil Heath.
yeah, that one. Yeah,
Ronnie,
or yeah, or Arnold and Sergio Olivier. Those were classic. Right now the closest we do have in women's bodybuilding is Natalia and Sarah, and I would say Andrea and Angela. Those two are, you know, because Andrea, she's the current champion. She lost her title to Angela. Sarah, she's the champion now, but she lost her title to Natalia. I mean, most definitely Sarah and Natalia, their rivalry.
Just a little bit of beef between the two of them.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you got beef to eat.
yeah,
But like I said, that's the thing about these about athletes. It's about being competitive in nature. You want to know who's the best of the best, who is the top of the heap. I mean, to really test yourself, and it's a lot to the sport. As I'm learning, as for you ladies, and I keep saying this, it costs y'all ladies a lot more to compete.
Oh
And
yeah, it's it can get costly. That's why when I'm still an amateur, but when people I'm at the gym, a lot of my friends are pros, and my coach, as is Pedro. I tell people they'll go, "Oh, I'm thinking about competing." I'm not discouraging them. I just want to make sure that people don't fall under not paying their bills. I tell them, "Hey, just count the cost. Make sure that you can afford to compete." I mean, it can get pricey unless have somebody to sponsor you, but it can get expensive. You got, especially prime example. I wanted to do it for years, but I was a single mom for years, so I didn't do it. I was not going to sacrifice, a bill or taking my kids somewhere to compete. There's always going to be shows. Fast forward now, I'm remarried and my kids are grown and gone. Me and my husband do it together, so it makes a difference, and I'm more in a better place financially now than I was then. So I give people that example, and they go, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." Because I never want to see somebody, lose a car, lose their home behind competing. Because at the end of the day, you don't get paid for it until you get in the pro level, and only so many people get paid for that. So I tell people to be real careful, count your costs. If you got extra money to do it, it's very fun. It can be intense, but it's a nice community to get involved and a nice sport. I enjoy it. Me and my husband both enjoy it, but at the same time, like you were saying, especially for females, it can get costly. The suits alone, the
Right.
suits
That
are
was good.
up there. Yeah, I mean, I have one suit now that was I think I spent like $800 for it. And so, and that's like to me on the lower end. I know people who spend $1,500 on suits.
Right.
Then you got to think about. I learned my first show. I had someone do my makeup. That was $200 or $300. But from then on, I did my own makeup and hair. So that saved $300 or $400, $500. So there are ways you learn to kind of cut costs. But I tell anybody just make sure you know everything that you're getting into, and just don't look at it as, oh, I just want to go compete.
Right.
Hmm.
You got to take into consideration everything. Back in the day, in the figure division, there were actually 4 rounds altogether instead of two, because you had a one-piece round and you had a two-piece round. So especially when I hear figure competitors say, "Oh, it gets expensive," I said, believe it or not, it's actually cheaper than it was back in the day, because every single one of those rounds is a new suit. So
Oh,
take what you spend on posing suits and double it,
whew.
and that's like every single show.
Wow.
So it's like, I mean, and it does, and I hear what you're saying. It gets expensive. What just Teresa Ivancic posted shortly after she competed at the Triple O. It was $2,500 for just her and her man travel and accommodations.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it can get crazy.
it can, and especially if you don't have, a sponsor or that income, that extra income. And a lot of people they go into it, and then I tell people, then you also have to get a trainer. I mean, you have to pay them, and then you have to. Your food is different. I mean, there's ways you can learn to. I buy in bulk, so it's a little bit different, but just that, and then you hotel, like you said, plane tickets, gas, all that expenses adds up. So I tell people, hey, just count the cost. Make sure if you got the extra money, hey, it's you'll enjoy it. But if you don't, make sure you know what you're getting into if you decide you do want to do it.
Hmm. Yeah, because there's so much to this. Like if it was like a little bit more, it was more lucrative sport, especially it's a lot harder for your amateurs because interest fees you got to pay for. Because
Oh
we do
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Because you got to think about it. You might want to do two divisions. You might say I want
yes,
to do bodybuilding, and one might want to do physique. I might want to do physique. I might want to do figure. I've even seen some women cross over from figure and wellness, and even done bikini and wellness. I mean, it's just it's so much to this, and then you become a pro. You got to you got to pay for your card,
yes,
your membership card every year. And if you get to masters, then this is something I always say, like, makes sense to me. Like that is supposed to be your IFP pro. Why you still have to pay like you're an amateur? But like I said again, so someone told me, I think it was Jeremy. Somebody told me that the master shows are not as popular, so they have to make up the money somewhere.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, and but like I said, you're getting a lot more mature competitors, like someone like Eunice. I just got a message from Eunice a while ago. She's having problems, something about I don't know how it used to be. It used to just come in. I sent her an email. I don't know what's going on with this. I mean, uh, StreamYard's changing up its thing. It's trying to get an app or anything, but I don't know. It's just, but I say, Eunice, if you can't make it next time, we'll try to set up next month and, and see what we can do. I know it's a hassle. So we appreciate her and
oh
we
yeah,
appreciate.
she's gonna have her bad rap table set up at the Olympia, I think. That's what
Yeah,
she,
that's
yeah.
yeah. And JoJo just competed at the Legion. Um, yesterday. Wish her
Mhm.
best. I think she did pretty good. I think she's doing women's over 40 and I think over 45, I believe. And like I said, they haven't put out the pictures yet because they already put out the pictures for the Legion show because that's a big show. I think it
Mhm.
says it's almost as big as Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And this is what I talk about again. That could be a show that could have been great for women's bodybuilding.
Sure,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah, because this is about this end of the year. I think get a lot more women ready by this time because
Mhm.
early first in the year it was like people say it was kind of slow, even there wasn't many physique competitors. But because it's the first of the year, some people don't start getting the prep to maybe February
Yeah, about
or
February, March, somewhere in
yeah.
there.
And you used to get prep early because you have a show like Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. But because women's bodybuilding, physique, and figure are no longer there, it's just not. And I think I understand the thing about the money thing, but the thing is also the crowds. You have people who are fans of
Yeah.
these divisions, and I heard at one point you're saying that the Arnold really has really not as much to go to anymore because you got to think about it. They also do pro am, the pro am show, so you got to think about it. What's the point of getting even though this is a show where you get your pro card at, you might want to jump on, hey, you know what? It's invitational, because you got to get invited. But what's the point of having a show where you don't represent all the divisions that's in the sport?
It's
Yeah.
gonna be kind of curious to see. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's gonna be kind of curious to see with all these newer women coming into women's bodybuilding and how it's growing. I mean, it's getting back bigger now. Like, are they gonna rethink all of that? Because women's physique had a great showing this year too. Both did. So I'm wondering if they're like, well, maybe we should bring those divisions back to the Arnold because I mean, you had some really good competition at those shows.
Yeah, because I was
Yeah,
looking. Yeah, we're about to
but
say. Go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, I basically would just say screw the Arnold now, because I mean, this will be what, the 11th year that they've not had women's bodybuilding next year.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's like they've had 10 years to be able to re-add it, and they haven't. And
yeah,
especially that last minute decision they made to give almost $250,000 extra dollars to the winner of the men's Arnold Classic. It's like if you're able to scrape up an extra almost $250,000, but you then make the argument, oh well, we have to tighten our belts and we don't have the money. You just came up with almost $250,000. You're going to hand out to one person.
yeah,
You're telling me you don't have the money to be able to get together to bring back at least one of these divisions?
yeah.
Because it's now no longer it's now not women's bodybuilding and women's physique, but then figure has been thrown into the mix. And
Yeah.
I've noticed that now on the amateur level with a couple of shows that this year for the first time ever on the amateur level they pulled figure from their competitive lineups
Hmm.
for the first time that they've ever done that. So it's like I don't know what that means if that's going to be a continuing trend. I hope it isn't, but it's like
I wonder
what
if
happened.
it has something to do with the wellness division. I wonder if a lot of the figure girls are going to wellness. What do you think?
Mm, Possibly, but truthfully, some of those girls, like my friend Jada, she just made a switch. She's physique. Actually, she started as physique, then she was women's bodybuilding, then she went back to women's physique. Now she's doing well. She has two shows. I know we've been talking since she has to really bring down her muscle density because they don't want the girls to be too big and too muscular. But I'm looking at some wellness girls who at one point were either figure or physique and they still have those aesthetics. They still have those round muscle bellies, and it takes a long time to drop a lot of that size and that definition. Either change your physique to be more feminine, to be more bigger in the legs. I mean, I like Jada, but I felt she should have took the year off to work on that because she's also talking about getting breasts. I tell her, don't you don't need breast implants. There's girls who do figure don't, but I understand it's because it makes you look more a certain way when you're
Yeah,
competing. But figure I think it's starting to get that stink eye, like when it's body physique. It's starting to evolve. You look at people like right now. I mentioned the girl Manon, how she looks and how she started to switch up. I think she got a little qualification for figure. She took third place again at this show in Daytona, and she still has her Olympic qualification figure. She might as well just use it because no point, not just to waste it. You qualify, you just go in there and compete. They're just gonna weight you down next to the bottom, depending on the judges who's there. So now just go ahead and take the opportunity and go to the Olympia. Hey, you may not ever get it again, but it's just that it's the evolution of these athletes. And yes, wellness become popular, but then it won't take long before how bikini started. The girls look like girls you might see in like a pageant, or you go to like remember once they used to do the bikini competitions with like Hooters or Tropicana, and they used to have them in Florida, like the shows like like in Fort Lauderdale.
Mm-hmm.
These girls, women, are starting to look more closer to the bodybuilders from like maybe late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But like I said, this is why we like to have discussions about this, folks, because you know what? We need to get y'all feedback and y'all thoughts on this, because the fact is, bodybuilding, just in general, it needs the help. And we talk about one thing is sponsorship, as I said before. And we got to think about what if big companies like, the Nikes, the Reeboks, company like, Vital Water, that's Coca-Cola, or
Mm-hmm.
Propel, that's Pepsi, if they got involved with bodybuilding, would it help it financially wise?
It would, but they never will. And the reason why they won't is because, guess what? Steroids. And since bodybuilding is automatically associated with it, even though I don't agree with that, nevertheless, in the society's mind, as long as it's automatically associated with steroids, those big companies are not going to have anything to do with it. But also, you also got to bear in mind the bodybuilding community to the rest of the world is what a bucket of water is to Lake Superior. It's pretty much nothing in terms of size. So it's like they're not going to go after something that, number one, has negative association with steroids and such, and also just because even though it seems like it's big, like we're all talking about the Olympia, which is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, 99.9% of the planet have never heard of that.
True.
They've never heard of the Olympia. You say, hey, I'm an IFBB pro. Oh, that's nice. What the hell does that mean?
True.
They don't have any idea. So, I mean, it's a nice idea to get that happening, but like I've said before, until you do quite a bit of reprogramming, well, not reprogramming, but educating the public about bodybuilding and also about everything that's involved with it, I don't see that as happening. I mean, just trying to keep it real, but it's a nice idea, but
100% correct. I agree with that. Unless you get somebody that is popular, a movie star, or someone, a sports person that just loves bodybuilding, and they said, "Hey, I want to take a chance and I want to put some money into it." And I agree, educating the public, because the public doesn't realize other sports, they do steroids. It's the perception. Like I said, when me and my husband were interviewing, it's the humans were physical. We're we're visual creatures. So you see someone walking around with these big muscles, you automatically, oh, that person is taking this, or they're taking that. But they're not thinking about the golfers or the baseball players. And you've heard of several baseball players that got in trouble
sure.
for steroids, and football players. So they don't. That's because football is that's sports religion in the United States. I mean, Texas, it's like church. It is. I mean, so yeah, I totally agree with you what he just said. Until re-education and just educating the public.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that education does help, because you know what, the knowledge of it. I mean, people's always gonna look at stuff for like you talk about celebrities, like the good examples, like guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's one of the guys that really get some attention with bodybuilding because being a movie star, being a politician,
Dwayne Johnson, yeah.
The
Yeah.
Rock, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to get involved in it because the fact was some people are telling us that no, they didn't like the idea of him get involved in it because But the thing is, it has to be someone like him. Shaq. I mean, I saw a picture of Shaq with Linda Murray at the Olympia last year.
Mark
He's
Wahlberg has been to the Olympia. There's been several movie stars that have been to the Olympia. It's just that, like he was saying, the negative connotation with the bodybuilding world, because that's you. But I also think people don't want to look at that, like we were saying earlier in another show, with women especially. A lot of society does not really want to see muscular women.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
that's off the board for them. I mean, they rather see a bikini or wellness girl. They rather see that. That's our society. So for women to walk around with, I hate to say it, sometimes more muscle than a lot of men, that's out of the question. We're not into that. So then you have that battle to face, So it's just gonna take, I guess, time and like I said, education.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be time and education. I mean, this is a sport I've been following for a long time. And doing these interviews, like which people like you, Bev, and some of the ladies. I mean, just a couple of days ago, I interviewed Yvonne Pennington. She's a great lady. She got Olympic qualification. Interviewing people like Eunice, Maria. I mean, I really, I'm at my crime. My crime, I must have heard smoke. Y'all ladies excite me. But also getting to know y'all women and what y'all go through day in and day out to be respected and recognized for your commitment and passion for the sport. Um, I like I said, me just being a fan, just wish there was the opportunity and the chance for y'all to expand more. And everybody's gonna give the, like, instead of getting about the steroids thing, everybody's gonna give that shadow of a doubt to the other sports because, hey, no one uses steroids in baseball. But hey, the whole thing, there was a whole congressional committee when the baseball players got busted. The Olympics, always there was all issues, like, remember Marion Jones, Ben Johnson.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
that was like thrown under the rug too. But when people look at bodybuilding, it's like, oh, those people are out there doing all these illegal drugs to look like that, and like I said, we're physical creatures, and then on top of that, the women catch more flack for it, looking, being muscular, because like I said, that's not normal. It's not normal in our society for
Right.
people. So I think for women, I think like with Eunice did, I think women, like, she has bad rap. I think women are going to have to really pull together and really go, hey, we deserve this amount of money. We work just as hard, if not harder. I think there's going to have to be, that look, y'all going to have to, I've brainstormed and I've talked to with other people, and they're like, it's just it's a shame, because a lot of the women are beautiful and they look great, and you can look at all the hard work that's put into it, but just, for you to be looked at like, oh my god, basically a freak show. I've been told I look like a freak show. So um it's just that, and like I said, but you have to have a thick skin, you know and if you enjoy doing what you do, you just keep going.
Yeah, I'm like this. I'm gonna quote my man Bernie Mac. If people don't like who you are, fuck them.
Yep.
With cream through the lips and hair goes on, cream through the lips. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen people make comments. Like one lady who I follow, her birthday was a couple of days ago. It's Tina Parks. Everybody
Yeah.
knows Tina Crack Queen. She's a beautiful lady. She's a
Yes.
mother. She's a mother with kids. She got her pro card, and she posted like how guys are always making. It usually when she posted, it's usually guys that look like me making those comments. And I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah. Generally, it's people, and you have to take everything. Like my grandmother used to tell me, consider the source and go on. And you have to take a lot of things to grain. And yeah, sometimes it's not. It depends on what day it is. It's not nice, and if you do get in your feelings, you're only human if you don't. You know, I just think that overall, I don't know what's gonna be the turning point for women's bodybuilding and women's physique. I just know I'm glad to see a lot more women are getting into bodybuilding. I think that may be the turning point. You got the younger crowd getting into it. That might be it. So be interesting to see.
Yeah, I just saw somebody posted this picture of this girl. She's 19 years old, and she has potential. Um, Girls as young as 23. Hunter's not even 30. There's a couple other competitors who's still young. It's just I
Oh
think
yeah.
Yeah, I think Ashley might be just in her early 30s,
Yeah, see,
and
that's just saying they're all coming up, so it'd be real interesting to see, the turning point for women's bodybuilding. See what happens with that group because they all look, oh my god, phenomenal, phenomenal looking women.
yeah, and just like I said, saw my man Glenn interview Big Jane. I think Big Jane might be a little bit older, but it's about timing, and it's about people really need to be more open-minded to it. I understand again, it's not the typical idea what you want to see a woman with muscles. It may not be something that you're used to, but if you don't like it, then don't say nothing about it. Mind your
Yeah,
business. Move on. Focus on other things. There's so much out there you can focus on outside of this. But there's people like me and Jeremy and also man KL. He can't make it today because he has an interview. Shout out to KL the Wanderer. David from Female Bodybuilding Forum. So many other people who like. One thing is like my content on these ladies. It's not as because the analog for women's bodybuilding is not as big compared. If I was to do something else, like like I used to do some content on mixed martial arts every now and then. I don't do as much because it's hard to get interviews with some of the ladies, and I used to get some interviews here and there, but then after a while, it's just what, let me just focus more on bodybuilding. I still will support MMA and mixed martial arts, but I'm gonna focus more on bodybuilding because it's more my thing. And if I remember my brother told me, say, why don't you do like sports interviews? Like, I'm not into that. What's the point of me doing something I'm not really into? Because
yeah.
I wouldn't have the same passion for it. That's the thing. This is like just like you ladies, being competitors is a passion, and being fans a passion. Like
And
man,
we appreciate you guys. You just don't know when we have people that support and like they support their interview. And that's allowed people to get to know us as humans and individuals. Because I know just from our interview, I had several people like reach out and say, I did not realize that you had a life outside of that. I'm like, what? Like, why would you think that I wouldn't? I said, I'm married. I have a fur baby. We take trips. We're big into hot rods. We do hot rod tour every year. So they were like, it just was so interesting to see that you are totally, you're just normal like everybody else. I'm like, yeah, I just love bodybuilding. So, but it is, it is what it is.
yeah, most people think that you just lift weights and eat. That's all it is. You just like you just always no. There's a lot of like I said, Yvonne who mentioned earlier, she's in the United States Air Force. I interviewed a lady who just got a pro card. She works security, and she should be a Marine. Some ladies who are nurses, some
Yeah,
ladies who are doctors. I mean, they have a life outside of bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is not all their life, but it's a part of their life.
part of your life.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and just saw recently Erica Deer. We want to shout out to her. She saw a post I created for her because I would say I want to wish her best of luck because she has to take a step back from competing this year because of some medical issues, and that something happens, especially in her division. That's fitness,
Hmm.
where you can get injuries. Missy Trescott's coming back after she had her injury. I don't know about Whitney Jones. I mean, she is qualified for this year's Olympia. I don't know if she's going to be there or not. Um, uh, Oksana Gracerian, she's out because she's very, very pregnant. And that's life. Life happens.
Yeah, life happens. Yeah.
Yeah, she takes time to enjoy it. But like I said, this is where I enjoy talking to people like yourself and like-minded people like Jeremy because we really want to get across why we love this sport, why we're a fan of this sport, why we see things that might need to change. Like also, like you mentioned, the money thing. Again, I understand that the men's division is going to get the money because, as I said again, it's the bottom bitch. It's going to get the big paychecks, but at least give the women enough where it's worth their while. You got to think
Yeah.
about it. I saw I think for women's physique and women's bodybuilding and some of the other divisions, they were getting $2,000 for first place. That's $2,000. That's not much. That's already a plane ticket in your.
Well, that might be a plane ticket. You know what I mean? I mean, I I'm like this. It's you appreciative of whatever you get, but at the same time, that's not really covering everything because your suit might be $1,000, and then your travel expenses. So I agree. I think there needs to be a more payout for the women for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, because at least I would say this, like a show like the Legion, is a big show. I know the men would get $15,000. The first place was 15. I think it was 15 up to 7,000. I think third place was 3,000. I think I saw it. And men, like I said, men don't cost that much for them to compete. But if you maybe shoot up the prize money for some shows like $10,000, think about it. If you
Yeah.
make it like Sarah put $15,000 for the
Oh my
tennis
God.
pro.
Yeah. She was a godsend for that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that thing that's the biggest payout outside the Olympia.
Yes.
I remember last year the Masters Olympia is coming back, and that payout was $10,000. Except for I think the men's division was getting $30,000, I believe. And one lady who I wanted to invite out here because she went to that show. That's Lloyd Connolly, and she mentioned how her husband and her trainer had to go down there. It took them almost ooh, nearly $10,000, $20,000, counting everything going to Romania and ooh, I mean that is expense. And I know I was talking with somebody said the Olympic competitors they do pay for your plane ticket and some other stuff, but everything else is a cost. I had somebody reach out to me about, trying to get some sponsorship. I can't do much because right now I'm trying to get sponsorship because you see in my tags I'm not monetized because I wouldn't make much as monetization when it comes to my channel. That's why I'm pretty much monetized free. But I do have my GoFundMe, my PayPal, and my Cash App. So if anybody's out there want to donate, I can appreciate it because I want to go to a show next year, maybe one or two. And I gotta go for me for that. I hope anybody can send me something that can really help me out because right now I got a car still in the shop. I don't know where we're gonna get it out of the shop. The guy told me there's some issues with it. Oh my god! I should have took it to the other guy. I should have took it to him first, but I thought I can save some money. But I'm oh god, you know how it is.
Yeah, I think one of the things that has to happen is the fan base has got to come out of its shell and has got to start going to shows. And when I say that, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, they got to start putting their money where their mouth is. They got to stop doing stuff for free. They got to stop watching people who put up the lives, put up the pay-per-views for free. Because right there, the promoter is losing money. And if they find out that people are doing that, that's all the ammunition they need to pull the division from the show, because right there, they're losing money. So I think a big thing that has to happen is they have to come out of their shell and be willing to go to shows and be willing to be identified as fans of female muscle. And that's very hard to do. I mean, I was a closet fan for 22 years. I didn't let anybody know that I was a fan of this. And if I'm out there, if I was doing that, you better believe others are too. And some of these fans are loaded. Some of these fans are absolutely loaded. They could take care of the financial problems in a blink of an eye, but again, they just don't want to be identified.
Why do you
as
think
fans of it?
Why is that?
Because
I think it's. Are you asking me or just asking anybody?
You.
Okay. I think it's twofold. I think from the part of view of society, outside of the bodybuilding community, it's like you said, women with muscle are not accepted. Especially not if you have a lot of muscle, and especially not that. That's why every single time they come out with one of these new divisions, they're going from a smaller look. Because back in the day, you look back in the 80s, it had women's bodybuilding had a whole lot more social and cultural acceptance than it does today.
Yes.
I mean, you had women on talk shows. You had the 1985 Miss Olympia, when the movie Pumping Iron 2 came out in the theaters, they had what, a little over 5,000 people show up for that, and I mean that's still a record to this day because they're only there to see women's bodybuilding. So we need to bring something like that back, but that's why they're coming out with women's divisions that are always trying to be smaller, because they're wanting to recover that look, because that's what worked. So I think the first thing that's got to happen is, as far as outside the bodybuilding community, be willing to go against the grain when it comes to stereotypes when it comes with muscular women, and have no problem identifying yourself as a fan of it. The other problem is the bodybuilding community is its own worst enemy because of the whole fan schmo dichotomy. And unfortunately, a lot of guys who are fans of female muscle are automatically identified as schmoes, whether or not they're into that sort of thing or not.
Yeah.
And so as a result, and I've watched this happen at every show I've been to, local, national, and pro alike, they get mistreated.
Right.
They're guys who have been that I know of. It's like this was when Junior Nationals was still in Chicago, and I talked to a guy, and he was all excited about being there. He had never been to a bodybuilding show before, and he then asked me, "Oh, by the way, what does schmo mean?" I was like, "What? Who called you that?" And he said, "Well, those bodybuilders over there. What does it mean?" I was like, "Oh my God." Here's a guy excited to go to his first ever show,
Wow.
showing financial support for these women, and you complete assholes decide to do that to him?
Wow.
I mean, I told him what it meant, and it was like he was devastated. He was like, "What did I do? What did I say?"
See, that goes back
Because,
to the professionalism too. To me,
yeah,
once especially you become a pro, you need to uphold yourself as a professional athlete. And that, but I've never had a bad experience, but I've had people that have had bad experiences with pros. They'll tell them, basically they'll be in the gym with them. Oh, well, that equipment's mine, so you need to get off because I'm a pro athlete. No, you ain't getting paid. So, get the hell out of here. But people get intimidated by that because they come at them aggressively. And, I'm thankful that all the pros I know are very down to earth and very humble. They'll tell you in a minute, hey, I ain't getting paid for this. I love it, but I don't quit my day job. And, they'll help you out and give you pointers. But I've heard some horror stories, and I'm like, how do you identify yourself as a professional athlete but treat people like dirt? That I don't make it make sense.
Yeah.
they think the thing is their ego is so overinflated. They think they're all that. No one knows who you are.
Exactly.
I mean, like I said, now you say, "Hey, I'm IFBB Pro such and such." People will look at you and say, "What does that mean? What
Exactly.
is IFBB Pro?" Because 99.9% of the planet has no idea who you are. But you're
Exactly.
strutting around the gym like you're all that. Get over yourself. This is what I
Exactly.
tell her. It's like, who are you again?
Exactly.
Here we
Exactly.
got shout out to my man KL, the one who came through. He says, "Hey people, what's happening? Nothing much, brother. If you want to come on, the link is in the live stream. You want to click it, you want to come on, and yeah, and one thing also, some people when they are people from outside, like my family knows. They, I think most of them didn't know for a good while. I kind of kept it private because you know what, I'm here. I live in the South. Like Bev, you live in Texas. That's the South. You know, it's just not traditional to think about this. Women with
Yeah,
muscle
for
as
sure.
attractive feeling, and then you get comments from people saying, dude, are you gay or something? Do you like right? Well, if I was like this, I would be fond of guys like Chris Bumstead. He's kind of handsome. I
Yeah.
mean, but I like this. This is just a different look of a woman, and it does draw me. Yes, we have the guys who can make us the rest of us look bad, but then when you are approached by someone who's a fan, and I reach out to ladies, say, you want to do an interview or something, like because when somebody asked, I mean, one lady and KL knows this woman saying he had to pay her. I offered, say, want to do an interview, say, you gonna pay me? He said, well, I'm not going to pay you because you know what? If I do pay you, I'm going to pay you after the show. I'm not going to pay you, but I don't pay anybody. What I do is, if I've offered this, and you and Bev knows, I've offered this. Hey, if you're interested, I'll send you like a little care package. With some of the competitors who live like out of the country, I wish I could send them those care packages because I know they will use it, but the cost of it going there. But I would do that because you know what? I can't afford to pay you for your time. You got to think about it. This is about you. This is
Yeah,
your
and
press.
why would you ask someone? I guess I don't know. Maybe my thought process is different, but why would you ask someone is coming to you for an interview? And that's putting you out there too. So why would you ask someone to pay you for that? If you want to get paid for something, you are in the wrong business because you need to go. You need to go become a track star, tennis player like Serena and Venus Williams, and go get you a Nike sponsorship. And that's what going back to how people view women. The thing that really, because at one point I almost quit doing bodybuilding, but I saw the night that I thought about doing it, I saw the interview with Serena Williams, and she talked about how people said she looked like a man, and judged her because she was a bigger girl. She's not, but she looks great. She looks like an athlete. And that was my turning point to keep going, because I'm like, if they think that that woman looks like a man, people are going to take pot shots at you no matter what you do. So you do what you want to do and enjoy your life. Because people there, and just like I was talking about the girls in the Olympics, some of the track stars, some of the guys are all there, they got too much muscle. What? What are y'all looking at? These are athletes. Their body has to be conditioned a certain way to run.
That's exactly what Ronda Rousey said one time when she was approached with that. What early on in her career, she was asked that question also about her muscularity, and she said exactly what you're saying. Is that she said, "I'm an athlete. I have to condition my body to get through however many rounds of basically physical combat, and you don't want me to be muscular?
Exactly.
How exactly am I going to survive this if I'm not that way?"
Yeah,
So it's
Exactly.
like,
there's one fighter that people pick on is that Kayla Harrison, and she's a two-time gold medalist judo champion. Uh, you know, she was a former PFL champion. She just went to UFC. Just saw her. She was fighting 145. She dropped down. Her body was just shredded. I'm not a big fan of hers, but she was just shredded. She looks like a level of maybe a figure competitor, a physique competitor. And that's the thing is that you do need that muscle. You can't be.
Yes.
It's not like you're like someone like a good example. There was a MMA fighter. He was really they didn't like him. What was his name? Roy Nelson, Big Country Roy Nelson. He was kind of a fat dude, and people kind of liked him because he looked more like everyday guy fighting with these guys, fighting guys like who is it? I forgot. We fight a lot of the top heavyweights in the UFC, but you know what? Not everybody's going to be like that. He was an outlier, you might want to say. Most
Yeah.
people are going to, most athletes, like I say, track and field stars, those women, you're sprinters. You got to run maybe 1 meter, 100 meters, 200 meters. You need that muscle for that burst of speed. It's not like
Yeah.
if you're a marathoner where you're doing 800s and you're doing a mile, you don't need all that muscle because, it's too much on your body. But with those
That
athletes,
Yes, that
they
goes back
need
to
that muscle.
education. Just like y'all were talking about earlier, education. People are educated on those girls and what they do in the Olympics. They're not educated on Serena Williams playing tennis, so they're not educated on the bodybuilding industry either.
Because if they look at Serena, they look at like the Chris Evers. Remember Martina Navratilova? She had muscles.
Yes,
And and you look at going back to the how tennis players are like the Chris Everts and the Billie Jean Kings, But then you now look at Serena and Venus, and you look at the women coming up now in the division. They need that muscle. They have to move. They have to hit the ball. You need that. Your body needs it. You can't come in there looking like Kim Kardashian. Even she's looking a little shit. You can't be looking like the everyday woman and do those sports. You have to train, and when you're training, you get results from your training. You
yes,
you follow a diet. We talk about diets. One thing that's most important about being a bodybuilder. You follow a regimen. You train. You build muscle because muscle does sustain you. I mean,
hmm
it does help you, especially when you get older. I'm about to be 50 in just about a couple more months. Just I want to say one more month. God, good shit. But you need that to, to last because you know what, your body is gonna go through. Like I've seen some players go through a session. They can go hours. Like I said, I do content MMA. You can be in a ring for 15 minutes and you have to 20 minutes. So you have to maintain. You need that muscle. You need that strength because you know what? You can't come in there, just all any kind of way.
hmm
So, but like I said, this is why we do these discussions, folks. So this is why I reach out to some people. I know some people are busy. I know they got this and that, but this is why we like to talk about this. Because the fact is, this is y'all sport, and I'm just an outsider. And it's just
You
like
know,
your
it's your sport too. Everybody has, it's like a puzzle piece. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle. It's, I mean, it's your sport too. Just you getting information out there. You're informing the public. That's important. Just you talking to different competitors and getting their input. Just me, just as an amateur, the people that reach out and go, I did not realize the diet and you and your husband do it. They didn't realize all of that. So you're part of it too. You're helping it, the education factor.
I figure, yeah, I believe that because you know what, it does take a lot, because I didn't know as much until I started reaching out and doing interviews, and I just saw it like this, like okay, the training, the working out, yeah, 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 yeah. But then I learned from talking with women like yourself, Bev, and many other ladies that there's a lot to the sport, and it takes time to understand it. And that's the thing is, understanding is important. People have to be open mind to something
Mhm.
that's different. Most people are not as open minded to something. They like they regimental. They believe this. I'm saying your belief. I understand that, but be open to something different. Be understanding to someone who does something different. Don't be so closed minded to something. And that's the thing is, we need these people out here. If you are a fan of the sport and you're concerned about how you get treated, hey, sometimes don't worry about those people. I've been in contact with some women that we had done an interview and then that's it. We don't. Some ladies I'm still in contact with them. I got a lady coming up I think in a couple of days. We're gonna do an interview, and she's a really cool lady. She just made a pro debut. Some women who say reach out to me and say, "Hey, I just saw your YouTube channel. I really like what you're saying, so I'd like to do an interview." You know, I do enjoy when I get an opportunity to talk to people who really want to talk about bodybuilding, also about themselves.
Mhm.
People like Eunice. Eunice is always sending me
She's great.
links every so often when something's posted up. And I posted them to my stories on my IG, or someone tell me, say, George, I might be doing a show. You're going to talk about it? I say, yeah, I might talk about it. What's the show? Just those little things that really, especially as a fan, being more involved in sport does help out. I wish I can do more. Where I wish I had to where sponsorships. I wish I could sponsor competitors. I don't have deep pockets like that. I'm broke. It's about the end of the month. First of the month's coming up. I got to do pay my rent, my light bill, and that's it. And I'm about broke. But that's why I have this channel and I do this content. I do talk about you ladies, you competitors, because the fact is, you do need recognition. People go talk about the guys. It's awesome, everybody go talk about, as you saw, Big Robin's not going to compete this year. He's going through some stuff. I said again, Erica Deer, she's not going to compete because she's going through stuff. Those you need to know this stuff. And if you're a fan of the sport, don't be afraid. I mean, I understand people's going to pick on you and say stuff about you, yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's it. That's their problem. That's their headache. If this is something, if you don't, like I said, if you don't like something, then don't say not just keep mouth shut. Mind your business.
Yeah, but a lot of people in today's society aren't happy with themselves, so they got a misery loves company. So they got to bring other people down because we live in a society of keyboard warriors, and they won't say that stuff to your face. They want to say it behind a screen. So, in order for you to stay happy and for you to be happy, you have to enjoy what you want to enjoy and love your life. And I appreciate y'all doing these interviews because also it's a way to connect you with other people and find out, hey, it might be somebody in another state saying, hey, I'm gonna come through Texas. What gyms do y'all have? Just simple things like that, and just you helping to educate the public, people that are watching, because there have been several people that watched this, that had no clue about bodybuilding, and they were like, oh wow, didn't have a clue. Now I know. And so that's really important. That's just getting there. You'd be surprised how many people, even if you touch one or two, how much they go back and tell other people, hey, guess what? I watched this interview and this is what they said, XYZ. So it all is a piece of the puzzle. It's all a puzzle piece. We just need to, now figure out a way how we can, even on a small scale, try to help the women's divisions as far as getting sponsorships, and like you say, like I think it's great you're doing the interviews. Y'all have the different formats to do the interviews because people are seeing the different athletes on an amateur and a pro level. So I think it's outstanding.
Well, like I said, that's why I started when I started this stuff. I just reached out to a couple ladies here and there, and then it kind of really picked up here and there, and and get in contact with them, and then going out in the world and meeting some of these women in person. Like I remember meeting with Shauna Boswell. She was down here. She was in Fayetteville. It was an event by the Amazon Fitness magazine. And getting to meet her and going to Savannah, meeting with Shauna Boswell, Donald Salib, and also Alita Popa. I mean, people I've interviewed or people who I follow on social media. It was just that's why I want to go out more in the world. Like my man Big Keith through the flies, he say like George, I might be doing a show. I might want to fly you out. I say, I don't know. I'm ready for a plane just yet. I mean,
You'll be fine. You will be fine.
now you have to do me like Mr. T. You have to put something in my milk. Like,
Put your earphones on and take a nap. You'll be fine.
Then wake. I don't. Something happened. I don't go get a chance to wake back up again. That's the. But I understand. It's just taking a risk and
Yeah.
going out there and meeting people like yourself, like you, Bev, and to talk with y'all and to get your thoughts and to share what people need to understand that you are people and you love the sport you do. I wish the sports could love you back a little more, but it's just it's just how things are sometimes.
Yeah.
And one thing I said again, if bodybuilding was like more of a mainstream sport where you have a union where something happens, you get taken care of. If there was more shows where they put better prize money, if promoters are not as concerned about how much money to get back, but just to show and represent all the divisions in bodybuilding. I mean, this show at the Legion, I think there was only short two divisions that's women's bodybuilding and 212. I think the Daytona show, I think it was short by those same two. I don't think it had fitness, and it's just both thing is the sponsorships. If these sponsors are more willing to put the money behind these, like Art said, he says that if you can get some big corporations like Wing Street was doing it for a good while, but Jake he's more part of the machine now. He's the owner of the Olympia. He promotes two shows other than just the Lena shows, the two Lena shows, the Linda Murray show. And Linda Murray, that's somebody who could be a brand. You got to think about it. If someone can, like other than Wing Stream, someone can back someone like Linda Murray. Arnold Schwarzenegger has shows all over the world because he's a name. Everybody knows Arnold. If Linda Murray could have someone to back her, I think it'd be great if you have a show in Texas. I mean,
Oh yeah, Texas is really. I mean, it's almost like a makeup bodybuilding. You got your heavy hitters that are from here. There's a lot of people that's going to be Olympia from Texas. So I think, and we got the nationals. Last year was the first year for nationals here in Texas, so we're doing it again this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do another nationals, have two in Texas. Texas is so big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I would say other than the Texas Pro, there's the San Antonio, there's the Texas Pro, there's the State of Texas Pro, there's like just a couple other shows. I wish there was more shows. It was going to be a show that would have Women's Bodybuilding 1 year, but I don't know what happened with that. Either they're going to get sponsorship for it. I would say if someone could say like this is what if I could do this. If I had, I'm not going to say I wish I had Bill Gates money. Jake has good money, but I think if I had Bill Gates money. And, he what's it? Put up the sanctions fee and the prize money, and have and get and put women's bodybuilding at that show. That'd be great. I mean, like think about it. Put $10,000 for prize money, and maybe top 6 competitors get a prize. Some prize money, and also little stuff for the competitors like best poser, most muscular. Like what Win Strength used to do when they had their like with Rising Phoenix. I think you will see a lot more women want to jump on. You might see some women moving up, like I said, like Melissa Tyke. She's took this year off, and I think she's gonna come back. I'm hearing that Emily Schubert might be going up because after her last when she competed last year, she looked really more like what women's bodybuilding is now than what physique is. I
Hmm.
mean, there's even talking about Natalia. I don't know if Natalia's competing that year because she hadn't been too much. She's always been on social media a lot, but other than a couple of times she's been on my live stream, she's been kind of quiet. She hasn't been doing too much. She ain't done no shows this year. And
Yeah.
then you have promoters dropping women's physique, as you saw um, the Tetones in the Midwest. They dropped the St. Louis Pro. That means they're going to replace it with another division, probably I would say wellness or bikini, where they probably get more sponsorships and money behind it. But
On a positive note, Triple O Dynasty is coming back next year
yes,
Oh,
yes,
on April 5th. So the one that was created as the alternative for the Arnold that was specifically focused on women's bodybuilding and women's physique and women's figure, that's coming back.
oh,
That's April 5th next year.
okay.
So it's no, it's not a one-time deal.
Oh, right.
They're gonna keep on going with it. But
yeah,
one other thing, dealing with getting more interest involved. I don't know why they do this, but they don't do shit for advertising. I don't understand that.
That is,
It's like yeah, they'll put out stuff like flyers and such like that, but those are largely contained in bodybuilding circles.
yes.
You have to get the general public involved. I've said this before. The easiest way I think that you could do that, and the model that has worked for 60 years out in California is Muscle Beach. You have the people that go to that every single day. Stage something like that at a pro show, like Muscle Beach, Texas, Muscle Beach, Atlanta, Muscle Beach, Chicago. Like find some well-traveled thoroughfare, see if you could get a permit from the city, take some equipment out there, have bodybuilders go out there and start training and say, hey, if you want to see more of this, the show is this weekend. Invite local media, invite local televisions or media celebrities to come out and see if they can circulate news about the show. We
Yeah.
just don't advertise that much to the general public. We
That
keep it
is,
within bodybuilding community. We've got to get outside that. It's
yeah,
not that difficult to do, but for some reason, I don't know why they just don't do it.
yeah.
But you can't invite people to the gym. You got to get the gym out there to the people.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what you have to do.
yeah. Go to like ESPN don't do bodybuilding like used to. Set them up. Have a hey, do some interviews. Like people like Chris Bumstead or
Yeah.
Andrea or Derek Lungford or also Sidney Gillen. Have them sit and have like a little thing where they're talking to somebody, saying we're talking about a sport, and then let them know, hey, the Olympics coming up. So if you want to come check it out, hey, it's gonna be here in Vegas, and yada 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 yada. Get the really get the attention of the people because
Yeah.
And
you gotta,
it's so much easier today to do that with social media than it would be like say 30, 40 years ago because any teenager can set up a podcast interview
Oh my God. Yeah.
with a camera and a computer. They can do it in the blink of an eye. And then also, it's like, as I said, I don't understand why people won't go around to local media personalities and talk to them, see if they can get on their podcasts, like the millions of them that are out there now. But they just got to get outside of the bodybuilding community and into the general public. And that's
Mhm.
where the education also comes in, too, because then they can counteract a lot of the things that they hear from society.
Yeah.
So, and I don't understand why they don't do that.
Well,
Now,
I wonder if they're trying to keep it enclosed. Like some communities, they're trying to just stay within that, kind of keep it, that old saying, keep it in the family. So I'm wondering if that might have something to do with it. Maybe, who
Well,
knows?
we sometimes we say keep the family. Sometimes you gotta be careful. We might be talking about somebody in the Ozark. Yeah, no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not that family. I want to. I got cousins, but I don't like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's the thing is that you have to like one thing I told myself. To me to do this stuff, I have to get out of my own way. I have to get out of my own shell. When I went to Savannah, because I didn't travel, especially by myself. I remember if I traveled with with my family and friends like that, but this was something I went by myself. And I want to do it because you know what? I teach myself, I never got to, because I worked a lot, didn't have the time, and it just wasn't. I was more of a homebody. I was, but that's it. You know what? Now doing this content, and I've seen people like my man Glenn. He goes to the shows. He does photography. David, I saw AJ over there. He was in Poland. I'm seeing these people I follow. Even my man KL, he's been to some shows. And I said, you know what? I really need to get out there. I mean, it was great to go to Savannah, but I need to do a little more. I mean, and I do, like I said, I watch pay-per-views and I support it. I do as much as I can, but I'm only one man. More people need to, like I said, get out of their own way. Stop using
Yeah,
excuses where you feel like people is gonna if those people make you feel bad about being yourself and liking the sport, that's on them, not on you. You have to
exactly.
you have to live your life for yourself. You can't live for anybody else. I mean,
Exactly.
it's just that's the sad part about it.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately, it's like if I hear of people that are saying that they're going to go to shows as fans, I tell them, look, if you're going to decide to self-identify yourself as a fan of female muscle, you got to be ready for the gamut of reaction if you're going to go to a live show. Because here's what I like: I'm that experience that I mentioned before. I've seen something like that, or I've experienced something like that at every show I've ever gone to, local, national, pro level. It doesn't matter, amateur or pro. It doesn't matter. It happens is that you got to understand that as a fan, yeah, you're going to meet wonderful people. I've met wonderful people going to bodybuilding shows. Debbie Bramwell, who is one of the nicest women that I've ever met in my life. She was a phenomenal competitor, total sweetheart. Zoa Lindsay would be another example. Intimidating woman up close because she's almost 6 foot and built like a tank, but she's also the nicest, sweetest woman you've ever met in your life.
Yeah,
And you'll meet nice people, but at the same time, because of this whole schmo nonsense, you'll be treated like dog shit.
yeah.
There'll
Because
be
I mean,
people. There will be people who treat you. You will have to be ready for everything from a
yeah,
fan's perspective. If
yeah,
you say, "Oh yeah, I'm a fan of women's bodybuilding" or a fan of women's physique, there are going to be people who automatically identify you as a pervert,
And
and
that's,
they're going to treat you accordingly. And it's unfortunate, but it's true.
yeah, and it's sad. It's really sad.
yeah. I remember when I went to Savannah, and I was talking to her online. When I met Donna Sleep. I told my hair out, and Donna Sleep hung out. She came in because we talked a good part of the time because she was working the booth there, and there was another person there whose name I do not speak. I mean, she didn't better say anything. She might take a picture with Donna, and she said, "Oh, if you know who I'm talking about, guys."
I
I,
do.
yeah, I do not speak her name. I call her. I treat her like Lord Voldemort. The name we do not speak around here. But then I met some other women and talked to them. I mean, I ran into Irie Anderson. We talked. Talked to Shana Boswell. I saw Andrea Vecchio, who was just she had one of the most phenomenal physiques back now. She won as Muscle Angels. I remember I was sitting in the front row in the VIP section. And I saw Linda Murray's up the front in the right behind the judges, and she turned around. She smiled at me. I wish I could talk to her, but she was busy because it was her show. She's a promoter. Um, but still, sometimes I wish I did a little more. Like one person I wish I should have talked to was Annie Richardson. That was just a few months before she passed. Her and her husband had their booth. I wish I should have went over there and talked to her, but I was kind of in my shell. This is my first time. I was kind of shy, and I just didn't want to be. But I wish I did. I wish I went over there and talked to her. Maybe we set up an interview later on that year, before she passed. I mean, it would have been great because her story, how she came here from another country, and then her and her husband had their business, and then she was just gone. Just amazing people. Here we are, here, man, Ahmad, Muhammad. I think it's Muhammad. If I got one name, one brother, I apologize. Says my issue with fitness is the lack of info about food freedom. I lose weight and now afraid to go out to buffet and enjoy myself. And people shame me for loving food and wanting to have a chest day, cheat day.
A
Yeah,
cheat day.
well, yeah, cheat
In
day.
that case, everybody deserves a cheat day. When even the first of my preps, I usually get one cheat meal. Enjoy your cheat meal. Enjoy your cheat meal. If you are working hard in the gym and you are doing what you have to do or whatever you want to do, enjoy going to the buffet if that's what you want to do. Enjoy your life. People, it's nobody's business what you do. So if they're looking at you or shaming you, that's shame on them. They're not. You're not the one with the issue. They are.
Hmm. That's the thing is people don't, like I said again, if you see something that maybe not your style, then don't focus on it.
Yeah,
Just keep, like mind your business.
exactly.
That's the problem with some people. They think they want to just be like, here it is. My mom and daddy are dead. I don't need nobody to be my mom and daddy. I'm a
Exactly.
grown up. I
Right.
do what I want to do and do how I need to do. And it's just sometimes you
Yeah.
just, you know how it is. You know how it is.
Yeah. And what I would say to him is this: look, smart people judge by context.
Exactly.
Stupid people judge by snapshot. That they'll just take the shot of you right now and make all sorts of judgments about you. Those are stupid people. They don't know your background. They don't know that you. Some of them, they don't know you lost the weight. They don't know that you're working hard. They don't know any of that. It's like people will look at me because I'm still a relatively obese person, but I had also at one time was 400 pounds. So I'm down to 320.
Oh, that's
So
good.
that's like an 80-pound weight loss.
Yeah,
And
that's
see,
good.
they'll judge me based on my weight right now. It's like you don't know the rest of it.
Yeah,
So
like with me, I was almost 500, and I'm just a little over 400. And I remember I was doing an interview with one lady. She watched it. She said, "George, you really lost some weight." I mean, because she remember went back when we first started interviewing. You could see how my hair was more fuller. You could see how I was a little bit more broader. I mean, it was like I was like thicker. I still have some bit of it here, but it takes a while because you got to think about it. It took me a long time to put this on. It's going to take me a lot longer time to get it off. I have some six packs right now because my knees. I got my knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I had two bad knees, but I try to go walk out every so often, not every day because I know when I get back home I want to just lay out and fall asleep because my knees are killing me. But it's a process. Like just like I remember when we were talking with Yvonne, how it's a process, and you have to really love the process. You know,
Celebrate the wins too.
yeah.
Celebrate the wins.
Here's from a man from Muhammad. Shout out to him again. He says, "I follow Skip Hill, the advocates Skip Loading. I love food and I eat clean every day, but also I want a day to just be free and not track and not ruin my body weight. I'm asking too much." No, you're not.
No,
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 you
no.
you live for you. You like I said,
Exactly.
the great producer, director, actor, Orson Welles. I was like, he eats to live and he lives to eat. And
Mhm.
a lot. And when doing content with bodybuilders, I know y'all are big foodies, but some of them have issues with food because of bulimia, anorexia. That's why I come in and got into bodybuilding because of that. But they still
Oh
love
yeah.
food.
And two, a lot of people, it no matter what you look like or what you do, somebody's gonna have something to say. You'll never get somebody that's gonna be 100% on board with what you do. So you have to come to the conclusion, I need to do what makes me happy and what I enjoy and celebrate my wins. Because it's a shame as humans that we're like that, but unfortunately we are. And I think it begins with us to make the world a better place. You know, I check people when I see people. There was a kid at our gym. He's deaf, so he signs, and he was not using the machines right. So I went up to him. He has his cell phone where you can speak into it and you can talk and it'll translate to you. So I told him, hey, I'm going to give you, I actually gave him a pair of my wraps because he has good form. He just needed to be shown the proper way to do things. He almost started crying because he said, no one, every time I come in, people avoid me because I'm deaf. He said, and you actually came up to me and spoke to me and talked, well, in my machine and actually interacted with me, whereas people were kind of afraid. So that made me really realize no matter what, people are they're gonna try, and I would hate to avoid somebody because of something that's a situation that they can't control. So I think it begins with us, make the world a better place and check people when they need to be checked, and be kind. That doesn't cost anything. Just be nice.
Yeah. We got
Something
here.
some something to tell him real quick. Lou Ferrigno, back in the
Yeah,
day, he was asked a question, that same question. He said, "What do you do with your diet, and what do you do with since you're into so much into bodybuilding?" He said, "Oh yeah, it's like," he said, they were talking in a baseball stadium during one of the pro baseball games. And they said, "Well, they caught up with him there." And he said, "Well, what do you do in a situation like this?" He says, "Oh, I just go all out." He said, "Hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries, you name it." He said, "Because it's just like you say. He had his cheat days." And that
And
was one of them. Is that he said going into a situation like that, he said you got to have a cheat day.
yeah,
yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't, I mean, you eventually lose the love of food.
Well, you got to reset your body too. Your
Yeah.
body sometimes needs that. You have to reset your body. Your body sometimes is like, hey, I need a burger. I need a pizza. So, I mean, it's everything's in balance. And I know with bodybuilding, it's a little bit, sometimes it can be extreme, but everything's in balance. You still have to enjoy life. Holidays, you still need to enjoy your family. 4th of July, you still might want a good old American hot dog. So, I mean, everything's in balance.
or you might have a good American ribs. We have
Yeah,
here a
there you
man.
go. Brisket.
Oh, we don't do brisket around very much out here. We do ribs. But we got a man here, KL the Wanderer. Shout out to him.
Hey, how
He's been
you
staying with me
doing?
for a minute,
Yo,
and
Hello, how are
we
you?
and he's a fan.
yeah,
And you know what? He's been doing interviews himself. I saw him do some interviews. I call him the king of the OCB. So, but also he's interviewed with women in the IFBB, NPC level, and he's a fan. He's more
Yeah.
a fan of the women with muscle.
mhm.
And as a fan, brother, what's your thoughts? Following this sport and doing content on it.
What's my thoughts on the women
Just on
and the
bodybuilding.
and the just bodybuilding in general?
Well, you can talk about the women, but also, but mostly that it's about bodybuilding.
I mean, it's a learning. I mean, I mean, it's a learning experience. Like trying to understand the sport. Because I'm not in that world. I was just, I just liked it women with muscles. Like, that was my thing. It was just because I would display them on my other channel, you know, on my YouTube channel, and it just following suit of you, George. I just was kind of learning. I'm still learning, but it takes time to digest certain things. So I'm not gonna lie, there be things that they be saying it's like talking in Chinese and stuff.
Yeah,
And I know Chinese a little bit more than women of bodybuilding and stuff. So I mean, yeah, it's I think because I have a background. Do have like background in working out, not like that, not at the level of bodybuilding, and just trying to understand bodybuilding at that level. Like if that made sense what I just said, but I don't really have that much thoughts like that. It just that it's more like just talking with the women and just looking at watching the sport in general, like going to live streams and just watching the shows and yeah, like because I don't even look at mainstream sport like that. I just like sometimes there's times I've have, but not into it like that. I think I'm more kind of like looking at more like bodybuilding, if I could say. And sometimes there be moments I'll be like, whoa, this is too much for me. Because it's like sometimes I just don't always understand. So, that's all I got.
That's true. Like I said, I'm kind of like that too. When I was younger, yeah, I always used to watch baseball and basketball and football. I got older now. I don't get much into it like I used to.
Right.
And with bodybuilding, it is a lot to learn. Especially when you talk about a lot of technical stuff like how the body develops, gyrations. You're talking about overall physiques and looks, and also remembering the shows like that. It's a lot of work, but if you want anything bad enough, you have to work at it. takes a while. We got here a comment from a man, Mohammed. He says this: "You guys are very informative. Thank you all." Last question, if I may. My friend is 27% BF, and his maintenance calories are already low. And should he cut, or is it possibly to increase his maintenance? So he's talking about his friend's body. His
His
BF.
his ratio. Um, I'm gonna say this. In this case, he probably needs to. I would. I don't know what gym he's at. There's a lot of questions I have because somebody. It depends on your height. There's a lot of factors into that because you could be a tall person and maybe carry that better than someone shorter. Does that make sense? I would suggest him going to a gym and actually getting clipped. I call it clipped, but getting his ratios checked according to his weight and body height and all of that. Also, talk to someone about a diet for that once he gets his BMI checked. That's what I would do. I would go to a gym and get it checked. I don't know what does he say what city or state he's in or
No, he didn't say. So wherever
okay.
you are at, Muhammad, tell your friend and talk to them and see what they can do. Go to a doctor, talk to a nutritionist. There's a lot of
Yes.
stuff you gotta do. He says 5'2", 17,000 calories are his maintenance at 190. 5'2", that's pretty
That
short.
again, that's there's so many factors in things because some people can take a lot of carbs and some people can't. Prime example, my husband, he can eat carbs all day. I have to watch carbs. And I got friends that are females that can eat carbs, but I have to watch carbs. So there's no guaranteed 100% answer in a diet or any of that. You have to, everything that you do, especially in bodybuilding, has to be individualized to you.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
have
even
to.
with weight loss or anything that you do. It has to be individualized to your body type.
Mhm. You have to also sit to people who are like trainers, a doctor, nutritionist.
Yes.
You have to talk to because you know what? It's just you just can't give like I talk with some ladies. You just can't give somebody a cookie cutter plan.
No, no, that doesn't work.
No, you have to have a plan that works for that individual. Some people like one thing is I talk about how women and men are different. Women's biology is different from men. We share some organs, but we have different biologies. Women can have
Yeah,
babies, men we can't. Men, I think our lifespan is a little shorter because, as I said again, the purpose of the man's life is to be breed, battle, and build, and that's it. That's
and structurally, people are built different. I mean, I got friends that they're wellness and bikini, and they love. I think the wellness girls look good, but I know my body's not ever going to be wellness because I'm not built like that. So there's structurally the way people are built is even different depending on where you want to go. I have friends that they say I would love to be women's physique, but my body will never put that type of muscle on, or if it does, it would take forever to do it. So, you have to there's a lot of factors in that. So
mhm. It's
You want to
education, like
stick to I was going to ask you, do you want to stick with bodybuilding for the
I
long
do.
term?
Yeah, I do. I think the plan is this show. I think I'm going to do both physique and bodybuilding. I love bodybuilding.
Okay.
Um, actually, when I was doing posing with Helly, she told me she said, you're on the bigger end for women's physique. So I'm going to see where I fall. And a lot of that's trial and error. I love bodybuilding. We'll see what happens there, but I think I'm also going to do women's physique too. So
mhm,
we'll see. And
Okay.
sometimes you have to see what happens the week of because the week of the show, your body changes so much. Um, you look totally different. So we'll see what I look like.
mhm. Yeah, because you
Well,
gotta
good luck.
you between
Thank you,
training and dieting, and then you want to push at that extra fluid because you want to look more that
Chris, and
grainy,
yes,
crispy. You want to be crispy, man.
yes,
And I think everybody is going to be a different level. You're going to
yes,
have some women come in and look like bam, like
exactly.
and you have some women who have to really work harder because they may have some genetic issues. I know injuries might be one factor to it. I mean, there's so much to this.
Oh my God, yes, there's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's a sport where it's a learning process. You gotta understand everything what you get into. You gotta understand your diet. You gotta understand, sleep. You gotta understand the necessary foods you're gonna eat. It's
Your
so
workouts.
yeah. I mean, sometimes you might have a good, level of you might have great back, but then you have to work on your front. You might have great arms. You have to work on your legs. I mean, some women can be the total package, but still have some issue that they have to fix before they do a show. And then that's why you get the judging feedback. And I think the judging again, that's where the judges really have a lot more control over your competitors. I know some. I remember doing an interview that Anna did. She said she don't get judges' feedback. You know, but most others they do because they want to get their thoughts. They're telling women in physique, you need to be bigger. But what's the point of being bigger? You might as well just do women's bodybuilding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It just depends on the judges and what shows you do. Some of the judges want the women to be smaller, so I mean, you just have to you learn the further you progress in it. You have to bring the best package you can bring. That's all you can do is just bring the best package you want to bring.
Yeah. Oh well, man. My man Jeremy just had to go out, so we appreciate him. Wish him best of luck. He said he try to make it for tomorrow's live stream. That's Mostly Talk Monday, where we'll discuss also, like we just thinking about up and comers coming to the sport. We got my man XA Gucci 23, and he says, "Good afternoon, George and panel. Thank you, brother, coming through.
Hello.
Shout out to him. He's a fan of mixed martial arts, and we used to do a live stream together. Me, him, and my brother, the other way to darkness. And folks, really, this is why we do these discussions because we want to get a back and forth. I would love to get. I know you just want to come on, but there were some issues. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. It used to be easy to get on, or something. Others people, I can't make anybody come that I want them to come. That I know they have time, got life, got things to do, but this is about your sport. And you should really, I know some people don't want to be those people to go out there and maybe I don't want to be the person to be out there. I don't want to put myself out there. I understand your concerns, but if you don't say nothing about nothing, nothing's gonna change. You're still gonna have the same thing, And the thing is, I think
Yeah,
some people
and a lot of it too is, oh, I didn't mean to cut you. I'm sorry.
go ahead, go
It's
ahead.
not that you're putting yourself. Well, you are putting yourself out there, but there's a diplomatic way of voicing your opinion too. And I think people get that confused with putting themselves out there and maybe playing the politics, I guess. Because sometimes if people don't know how you feel, things won't change. And so if you're not willing to be a voice and be heard, or express your concerns or be out there, and I get it. Some people are shy; they do not like doing podcasts, and I I'm not. I guess I'm talking to Betty now, but at first I was kind of like, but I really enjoyed it because it's been informative. But um, the women that you have had on here, I think they have done an excellent job, and it's been great. So I think it'll keep. I think you'll get a lot more women coming on and wanting once they see all the because you have a variety. You have pros and amateurs, which I think is a good thing because if you just have all amateurs or all pros, then it's kind of like, well, but see, you got a mixture and you got people from different backgrounds because you got some amateurs that have been doing it longer than some pros. They just didn't get their pro cards. So I think it's a good mix.
Yeah, because I remember right back we had Kara was part of it. We had Melissa Sanfield who just made her pro debut. I mean her amateur debut early this year, and she, lovely lady. We had also Mandy Squires, who's already pro but hasn't competed as a pro. Quite a few. Like I said, I would love to get more people on here to give their thoughts because,
It
like I
got
said, I want to hear from you. What?
no. I was saying it depends on if they open to it.
Yeah,
It's not always easy to get somebody to whether amateur or not amateur.
yeah.
It's a bump and ride with me. So George probably have a better kind of, I would say, success because he been doing it longer than me, and there's things that he know more than I do. But it's not very all the time easy to, especially with the IFBB pros, because it's like you have to know what to say to them, ask certain questions, and make sure that you don't say the regurgitated question that been asked before. I noticed that. So because they
Yeah,
gonna notice it, they gonna notice that. So
like one time, like one somebody don't like always
try to be
by
unique.
accident. They're asking, don't talk about my gear, but I always do this. I won't talk about what you're taking, but I will mention it because it's part of your sport. If you have something you want to talk up, you don't want to talk about, like I won't mention that. Or I mean, one lady said, "Hey, be careful. I don't want to hear about the thing about this or that." I said, "Well, I won't talk about it." But if you really
What
passionate
was it?
about
She
this,
didn't want to talk about what now?
hmm?
What was it?
It was I had one woman
Oh, I
said
think
that
we lost her. Oh,
hello, Bev.
No, you're still there. I got you.
All right.
oh.
All right. Okay. But yeah, it's a lot to this that when you reach out to these ladies, you have to see if they're reciprocal about going on here. Some are concerned about their image. And I understand you want to protect your image, but you got to put yourself out there because people want to know. People are always curious. There's so much to this sport, and I would say just take a chance. That's about it. Take a chance, and let people
Yeah,
know some.
no, I was about to piggyback a little bit on just saying, they, you I can't get what I want to get out of my mouth. What was I about to say? Like they always being perceived on like on people just looking at them as muscle women, but if they don't put themselves out there, people just going to continue looking at them as muscle women. You know,
Well, too,
just
a lot of
like
it could be a mixture of that, and then too, a lot of it. And I'm not talking about no particular person. I'm just saying in general, because that's with any sport or anything that you do. You have some people that have egos, and some people that don't, and you got some
yeah,
people
yeah,
they think they're beyond doing certain things. You have some people that don't. So when y'all do the podcast, you're gonna run into that. And that's with anything. That's not even bodybuilding. That's just in life general. You got some people
that's
that
true.
they may be a pro and they think they're getting paid $1 million a year, which are not. I know some pros that are starving. So or they're asking people for money. So I mean you just have to like the ones that you do get are the ones that are going to be genuine and true. And then sometimes people's lives are busy. You have to take that into effect, especially this week. A lot of people getting ready for the Olympia too and getting ready to go. So a lot
Yeah.
of people they got a lot going on with that too. So just the timing of things and stuff. So don't get discouraged. Just keep on doing what you got to do, and it's all gonna pan out. Just keep working at it. That's with anything. It's always gonna be hard at first, but as you keep going and you keep doing it, you get better with time. So just keep doing it. Don't let things discourage you. As I said, people have so much, I'm about to have to get off here too because I have to have I have to do some things, but people have different things going on in their lives. So don't get discouraged. Like I said, this Olympia's around the corner. A lot of people getting ready for that. We got things going on outside of being bodybuilders, families, and things like that. So just keep on. I enjoy talking to you guys, but I'm gonna have to get off of here now. But y'all have a good rest of the week, and I'll try to catch your podcast
All right,
tomorrow. I'll try to watch it probably
All
later.
right.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you, Bev. Say hello to
You
all
Brad,
right.
and I hope
Thank
y'all
you.
have a great rest of your week too. Thank
you
you for
too.
coming through. Yeah. So see you later. So that's the lovely Mrs. Beverly Coleman. She is an NPC competitor. She's planning on competing this year, and maybe next year she might get her pro card. I think she has those aesthetics. She's worked with units, she's working with Hella. So, brother, it's just you and me. So, what's your last thoughts before we head out?
Yeah, I had an interview today. It was kind of cool. I had some technical difficulties, but the person was very patient. It was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was with April Riley, right?
No, not April Riley. Alexis McLaughlin. She's NFF. She's an NFF competitor and an OCB pro competitor.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'll probably check it out later. But like I said,
yeah.
this is why I enjoy talking to I was hoping to have more people on, but I know instead again a lot of people are busy. It's about time for the Olympia. Maybe we might get a little
Right.
pickup because after that, there's not too many. Everybody's getting to prep and getting into getting ready for the season, and then you want to enjoy the holidays. So we might get a little pickup after that. This month was pretty good for me. I had like 1 week I had nothing but interviews. And then it was great the chance to interview Yvonne Pennington that day before she competed and got her Olympic qualification for next year at the Legion Sports Fest. And I enjoyed doing this. But I enjoyed talking with people like yourself and Beverly and Jeremy. Like I said, I would like to get more of the competitors on here, but like I said, that's up to them. I can't make can't make nobody do what I want them to do. They got to do what they need to do. So,
Right.
brother, like I said, I do thank you again. I shout out to everybody who was here. Muhammad was here. My brother, Executive 23, Stefan Perry came through. Anybody who watched this live stream with us, I'd like to thank y'all for taking the time to come here and listen. I appreciate y'all support. My channel's growing. It's growing. It's really starting to grow. I'm already over 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is getting like over 2,000 now.
Well, I just had one of my comparison videos. Like Art mentioned the lady who he talked about earlier, Debbie Bromell. She saw my video I did with her and Debbie Niniski, and she liked it. And I would love to
Okay.
interview with her. I would love to interview with her. I mean, she was just if you ever saw her, she was just a beautiful, great live.
Who's this?
Her name is Debbie Bromell. She competed good part of
From
the 90s and 2000s. She goes
Okay.
by now Debbie Bromell Washington. She just had a great look to her. It's just very exotic, beautiful dark hair. She had a big old smile, beautiful physique. I mean, she
Yeah,
went to
show
Olympia
me.
once. Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I said show me when you get the chance.
Well, I'll pull up one of her. I think probably later, go and jump in my computer. I'll send you a picture, and that'd be it. I think she does have
All right.
IG, but she's not on there that much. So but I appreciate everybody taking time out to come here for our Sunday roundtable discussion. Shout out to everybody who watched the live stream, who supported us, who was here. Thank you for the comments and the likes. Tomorrow we do Almost a Talk Monday. It's 5 o'clock. Come by if you are interested in taking part. I will leave a link in the comment section. You want to jump on, because I would like to hear your voice. I want to hear from not just the competitors, but also the fans. That's why I do this, because I know you guys out
All
there are
right.
fans. And guys, don't be afraid to step out there. I mean, I understand that people's going to try to make you feel a certain way about how you feel about bodybuilding, but don't be afraid of that. We can use those people to promote the show and also the competitors. They can use that help. That's from my man Stephen Persis. Debbie Brumell, yeah, Debbie Brumell, yeah, yeah. That's she. I saw she made a comment on one of my comparison videos I did with her and Debbie Belinsky, and she liked it. I like that. I still remember that time when one lady said, "George, you get me." I was going to say, he said, "George, I like how you talk about us, but you don't sexualize us." I
Yeah, I
said,
know who you're talking about, but it's all good. I know who you're talking about.
yeah. Yeah, hey, that's why I love doing those comparison videos because I got the
Nah,
idea
that's
for another
cool.
dude.
It's cool.
Yeah, I got the idea
Yeah,
from another guy.
you told me that. Yeah, you told me he
Yeah,
stopped and you just
well,
took over.
he stopped doing women. He
Then
was
you stopped
already
doing the
doing
women. Yeah, yeah.
because I was always doing. We were both doing women about the same time. He did it first, and then I started doing, but he stopped, and I kept doing it.
Okay.
Every now and then he'll
Right.
jump out and do it. But he's mostly do the guys because he was getting harassed by people telling, "Hey, don't be doing. We don't want to see the women. Yeah. He don't want to lose his subscribers." But hey, that's the thing. Do it because you like it.
That's what they told him not to do the women.
Yeah, because he was losing subscribers.
That's what
He was
they
getting
oh
yeah, subscribers were telling him.
yeah.
So yeah, and the thing is, you shouldn't have to worry about it. If you're gonna leave,
Oh
leave.
wow.
I mean, like this, hey, I do it because I
Yeah.
like doing this, But it's
Wow.
this
I
is
didn't
why you
know it
have to be
was that
extra.
deep.
Well, it gets like that. Sometimes people, get to a point where they feel like, you know what, I'm not gonna be on I'm not gonna subscribe to you anymore, and he was losing subscribers. But that's them. If they are some kind of way, that's on them. That's not on you. you're really getting attention to women who deserve that attention. He's done these comparison videos. That's why I got the idea from him. Because I say, you know what?
Yeah.
He was just mostly doing guys and do women
He
maybe
probably ain't
once.
want to do. Not to cut you off. He probably ain't want to like lose his subscribers because maybe he want to get monetized and because it's not easy getting subscribers now. Like I'm keeping it real. Like
Yeah, yeah, but like I said, it took me practically 5 years to get over 2,000 subscribers, and I do appreciate the
yeah,
women, the actual some of these. Like, I have actors and ladies who are probably subscribe to my channel, who even see my content. I have people
yeah.
like I remember Alicia Young. She commented on something when I posted about her. I remember the time when I talked about
Okay.
Makeda Acock, when she saw one video I liked and say, "Hey, it was because you put out something people wanted to know what was going on, and you kind of left it up in the air. You didn't say. I understand it was because of her friend Dallas who committed suicide that year. I didn't know. A lot of people didn't know because, like I said, I didn't know who Dallas was. I don't follow guys like that, you know.
Right.
But it's just that sometimes people just want to know some more about y'all. I love to get Makita on here. I love to get some other ladies on here. But I enjoy getting people like Beverly and also Yvonne and Maria and all these other ladies who come on here. I love to get that. I would love to, I would love someday to get my girlfriend on here one day. But
Yeah.
it's gonna take time. Maybe she'll, don't realize I'm not a goof or weirdo, just want to come on and talk. So I hope so. I'm just crossing my fingers. Cross my fingers.
Yeah. I'm sure you will.
Yeah, sure. So, folks, I'd like to thank y'all for coming through, for listening to us and giving y'all thoughts. Shout out to the people who was here. Appreciate y'all support. Support these men and women in sport of bodybuilding. Reach out, show genuine interest. Don't be a weird guy. No D pics, guys. Stop it. Don't do it. It's not. It's not. It's not nice. Women don't like that shit. Some dudes don't. Most dudes don't
Nah,
like that
don't
shit.
do
Some
it,
dudes like.
guys.
Don't do it, guys. Have some common sense. Say something like a positive video. Say something with something to make them laugh. Sometimes say something that makes some ladies laugh and they had a bad day, or just really just be supportive. Support does help these ladies because sometimes it's
I,
tough.
I'm. I mean, not to cut you off, but like if I I I don't do the comparison videos like you do, but I do kind of like if somebody I like, I'll make a video about them and stuff, and
Mhm.
and I'll send it to them. They'll appreciate it, but sometimes you got to be careful because there's some people, not everybody, but there's some individuals don't like the idea you take their stuff without permission, and they want to take it down if they don't like it. But majority of the times, the women are very open to it. They like it, so
Yeah, because I posted a little thing when I heard about Erica Deer dropping out of the Olympia this year because of her issues. She saw my IG. She liked it. She liked it
right,
because you know what? It's the thing is, if people are not giving you praise or recognition, you can't expect from anybody else. If
right.
you have to, you need that's what things And like I said, if you feel like you don't want to put like one person, I realize she makes a comment, I'm not posting any of her shit. Fuck her. But excuse me, but you gotta think about it.
No,
Who is
I feel you on that because some people you just can't. I don't. Oh, I have especially with women, I don't give them too much pedestal. Like I have my sit moments, but there be moments where if they acting up, like nah, fuck that. So I
yeah?
understand what you're saying.
You gotta think about it. Who is talking about you? No one else but us, the
Yeah,
fans. And you should respect your fans and appreciate when they put out stuff like that because no one else is talking about you. No one in the mainstream, nobody else outside the sport. We are the ones, and that's the thing is support your fans. Don't forget about us. We're the ones. You might say, "Yeah, these guys are weird," but we're not weird. We're just fans. We like y'all. We like your bodies. We like
I'm a little
your
weird. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little weird. I mean,
I'm a bit weird, but also I'm more focused. When I do this stuff, this is why we have these discussions. That's what we want to hear from you. I understand you want to protect yourself, but the thing is, when you protect yourself, you miss out on opportunities. And that's the thing. You don't want to miss out. You never want to miss out a chance to really make a friend or get somebody who supports you. Somebody might go to your shows and say, "Hey, I'm there to see this person." That's the thing. You need that support because you're not getting too much. We have people on the internet making comments about you, calling you manly or saying like this. Yeah, yeah. And you have people say, "Hey, I think you're beautiful. I think you're nice. I think you're a great person. Maybe I not know you, but I've been following you for a long time." You need that support because that gets And when I say stuff to somebody, like I make my little I make a little pictures and stuff and send them off and it's appreciation to I do amazing interviews I've done with. They like it. They say, I really needed this because sometimes there'll be days when they're going through like especially training or prep or just sometimes just a hard day. I remember one lady I made a video. I put on one of my videos, and she said, "George, I thank you that because I needed that because sometimes I just felt it was a tough day and I just needed something to be sure that what I'm doing is a good thing." I appreciate that. So other than that, folks, which is can you believe it? One more tomorrow is the end of September, and then we're getting to October.
October. Oh,
Yeah, and
yeah.
and the week after that is Olympia weekend. I will possibly watch
Okay.
Olympia. Like I said, some ladies who I've done interviews with are competing at this year's Olympia. I'm gonna shout them out on my social
You know the
media.
price? You know the price of
It's
the live stream?
since it's going to cover the whole thing from the amateurs all the way to the last show, and also they're going to cover the press conference before the show. So it's like about $75.
Maybe. If I get paid, maybe I'll do something. If not,
Because this is
send me some videos or some clips.
this is going to be a week-long show because they're going to start off with the amateurs
Yeah,
first. That's the first couple of days, and then they're going to have a little press conference before the main show. And then the main show is
yeah.
going to start women's bodybuilding and the other divisions, and then women's bodybuilding physique and those divisions first, and then it ends off with the men's division and bikini. And I think the other divisions, I forget which one, 212. I think it's going to be men's open, 212, and bikini, and another that Saturday, and that'll be it. The show will be wrapped up, and also you have a little press conference in between that time. So it's going to cover everything. Just go to the Olympia online channel, Olympia online. You can find the link and you can find the prices and you find what's all going on and it explains to you and
All right,
just check it out. That's it. So anyway,
all right.
folks, I appreciate for y'all coming through. Shout out to Beverly Coleman for coming through. Shout out my man Jeremy. Shout out to all the people that was in the live stream earlier. Shout out my man KL the Wanderer. Support the sport of bodybuilding. All the competitors, they deserve the support. They need the support. We have to, and also you out there who are IB pros, NBC competitors, yes, be more considerate to your fans. Because it wasn't before people come to these shows and watching you and supporting you, you wouldn't have sport. Appreciate the time y'all gave me and shout out to you. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your upcoming week. And I'm gonna say have a great rest of your day. This has been all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. I'm out. Have a good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and a good night.